Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about our total dividend income for the month of September and also what our buys and sells are and what we plan on doing going forward. Let's get it. So the first thing that I want to bring up is our main portfolio here on M1 Finance. As you guys can see, we have the dividends tab pulled up. I'm just going to go through a quick run through of what these paid us. So we got 582 from Enbridge. Looks like 4 cents from PFLT. We actually sold out of that one a little while ago. We will be buying back in. It's just not going to be immediate. 11.21 from PDI, 2 cents from Walmart, 6.15 from Gladstone Commercial, $1.03 from Beto, 273 from TLTW. This is a bond ETF. So we got 6 cents from 3M. We also sold out of that one for a profit not that long ago. 269 from Walgreens, 10 cents from Horizon, 321.40 from Tesla, 1 penny from PSCC. We do plan on buying this one, although it's probably not going to be right away. 171 from USOI. That's the crude oil shares covered call ETN. This is a futures traded ETN is what it is. 545 from EFC, 1 cent from SCHD, 919 from RYLD, 740 from RA, 523 from QYLD, 1 cent from Main Street Capital, 530 from BSTZ, 1343 from ACP, 46 cents from Cornerstone Total Return Fund, CRF, 615 again from GOOD. We got $1.23 from the sister fund, CLM, 1107 from OPP, 1106 from RIV, and 48 cents from SFAL. Now you guys are probably wondering, why do we have such a small position in SFAL? Well, reason being, I'm going to scroll back up here to the top. As you guys can see, SFAL is still pretty expensive right now. It's sitting at $22.51. It has come down a lot, but the VIX, as you guys can see, is still pretty low. So we're waiting to see if it can at least get above that 20 to buy in. If we don't see, I would say if we don't see the VIX start spiking up before the end of the year, which again, we're not hoping that this is going to happen. We're hoping that the markets are going to go up through the end of the year. But if we don't see it probably by like maybe October, November timeframe, we may start picking up some SFAL. Just have to wait and see. So those are our total dividends for the entire month of September. And that amount comes out to $428.57 for the month. Now, if we scroll over to Robinhood, you guys can see that we have not really changed any of these positions. In fact, we've added to it. So OARC, we got paid $16.83 here, as you can see, September 18th. Clip was our most recent one. The payment date was yesterday. See if we can find it. So it is pending. Again, I'm not really sure why this is. Maybe it's because the market is closed and the payment date was on a Friday, but the total amount here would be $108.27 for Clip. This was our bulk buy on Tesla, so we bulk bought at $14.71. Turns out that was not the bottom, but it was still a pretty good price to buy in. As you can see, we're only $1 out of the money. So we got $29.18 from Tesla. Scroll back down to Apple here. We got $2.98 from Apple. Coney has not paid us a dividend yet. We're probably going to get paid from that this upcoming month. But as you guys can see, we kind of bought more towards the middle of the month. And scroll further down to GUI. This is the Google Yield Max ETF. So we got 29 cents from GUI, so that's definitely nice. AMZ, I think we have not gotten paid from AMZ this month. No, we don't have anything from AMZ. And we also do not have anything from Enfley either, although we did buy a lot of Enfley when it was basically capitulating. As you guys can see here, we bought not a lot of shares, but we're kind of bulk buying a little bit on the shares on the way down. you can see that the spread between the current market price and the cost basis is not that much, and Enfley itself was down pretty substantially on that day. Um, Not sure how this is calculated. This must be like the maximum drawdown I have on this position. But if we go back over here to where you guys can see Enfley, the price of Enfley is pretty much lower than almost any yield max ETF, with the exception of OARC and Tesla. So we thought that it was a great time to buy at that point. So we're going to go over to Webull now. As you guys can see on Webull, we'll pull up our maximum history here for the dividends. You guys can see that we got paid $3.16 from Appley, $30.53 from OARC, $104.13 from NVIDIA, and $137.41 from Clip. So we got paid $275.23 in total. I believe this is from Webull, and then $158.68 from Robinhood. So we'll go ahead and add these up real quick. So you got that plus 275.23 plus 428.57 . So we made $862.48 in the month of September. You guys got to keep in mind the yield max ETFs, the distribution rates depend on what the market does. So we've kind of theorized up until this point, based on what we've seen, that if the markets go down, the yield max ETFs are going to go down because the underlying tech stocks have a very heavy weighting in the overall weighting of the S&P and the Nasdaq, which reflects in the price of these ETFs. And as a result of that, the dividends may get reduced. Whereas if the price goes up, the dividends and the share price will also go up. We kind of think that maybe the dividends may be slightly higher next month than what they are this month because the price was so bearish in September, or it may be flat. We may not start to see a real huge increase in the dividends until November, but again, that's based on the price action reflecting in the previous month of the payout date. But we'll just have to wait and see. So another thing I wanted to bring up is we did actually sell out of BITO for a loss. You guys know, minus the dividends, we took a $517.09 loss. Reason being is because we bought into a fund that's going to 50 to 100x our money. We would not have placed that trade immediately if we didn't feel like time was of the essence. As a matter of fact, this was the largest trade that we took all year. We pretty much more or less have not taken any losses up until that point, maybe like $100 and some compared to the nearly, I don't know what it is, 250x or something like that we've made in comparison to the losses. But we did make some realized gains as well. It wasn't that much, but the fact that we made anything in September is amazing. So we made $68.34 in gains. So if I subtract that from the losses, that would bring our losses down to $448.74. And if I subtract that from the dividends that we got paid, which this is not usually how I calculate this, but to give you guys the overall number, we are still up over $413 on the month. So considering that the S&P and the Nasdaq and crypto in general pretty much got slammed in the month of September, which again, we told you guys that September was going to be bearish. The fact that we're even positive is a miracle. So with all that being said, before we get into what we bought for this last week, and we're not going to do a video on this because again, this is covering for the whole month. So this would be the last of the 4 weeks. But with that being said, what did we do with our money? So we took the leftover money after the losses and put it into LTCN and BCHG, which is the Grayscale Litecoin and Bitcoin Trust. Why did we do this? Well, Bitcoin, so Bitcoin is basically the king of crypto. If Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down. These are considered to be altcoins. And if Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go up. So why Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash? Well, the reason being is because these are oscillators. So when Bitcoin goes up, these little guys right here are going to follow suit. So I'll pull this up for you guys right now. so you can see kind of what we were thinking. So if we click on one of these, you can basically see that. So there's a battle going on between the SEC and a lot of these big, huge companies like BlackRock and Fidelity and Grayscale and ARK and on and on and on. Between all these guys, they probably have like 25 trillion in assets. I would say their amount of assets is probably equivalent to the national debt of the United States. So this is kind of a big deal, okay? So they all recently filed for spot Bitcoin ETFs. The SEC is delaying its decision, which, we kind of expected they would do that. That's standard for the SEC. It's been the story pretty much for the last however many years that Gensler has been the chair. So there's a delay, which includes BlackRock. BlackRock has 10 trillion in assets. During a potential looming government shutdown, what do we think of the shutdown? We don't really think it's going to be a big deal. They usually get a deal fixed within like a week of the shutdown, so markets aren't really going to care too much. You might see like a little bit of a dip and then a recovery after that. That's kind of what we think is going to happen. So I can leave this in the description for you guys, but it talks about how basically you have all these high profile financial companies trying to get spot Bitcoin ETFs approved through the SEC. One more thing I want to pull up. See if I can actually find it here, because this is the most important part. Okay, so here it is. This is what we were looking at before. Okay, you see all these companies here. All of these major companies have filed for spot Bitcoin ETFs. All of them. Okay, and these are big name players in the industry. These guys are not small by any means. Okay, BlackRock 10 trillion, Fidelity 8 trillion, ARK and innovation funds and ETFs and all that other jazz. They probably have, I would say, at least in the tens of billions, maybe hundreds of billions. I'm not sure. But you guys can see that these people have filed basically as of a couple of years ago, they've been filing. And you got some of these deadlines right here. Okay, you can see all these deadlines are approaching. This obviously is not up to date, so we don't know what the outcome is for these particular deadlines right here, which is at the start of this month. But you can see ARK was rejected. And you have some further deadlines here. So the majority of these deadlines are going to take place between the middle to the end of next month. And then you have another deadline in January, another deadline in March. Could they postpone it all the way out to March? Absolutely. They could approve them all or deny them all at any point in time. If they get approved at the last deadline, that's pretty much right before the halving. But if for whatever reason Congress comes out and says, you know what, you guys need to get off your crap, approve these deadlines, because if you don't, we're going to fire you. And they could do that. They rightfully could do that because Congress pretty much is in charge of everybody, including the Fed. And then they're forced to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF. And then there it is, trillions of dollars flow into Bitcoin next month. And we want to be positioned for that just in case it happens. So did we want to take the loss on BITO? No. But in the immediate short term, we felt like the risk, the opportunity cost was too great for us not to make that move. So we moved all of our money into here. So again, we're expecting at least a 50x on LTCN and at least, I would say conservatively, a 20x on BCHG. If the spot Bitcoin ETFs get approved, it's going to be a lot more X's than that. And we do have some money positioned to start buying next month. Just a quick overview here. You guys can see that the LTCN and the BCHG charts have been in consolidation for a long time. This is the ideal place to be buying when it's basically dead and doing nothing. That's exactly when you want to get in, not financial advice. But this is what's known as accumulation in crypto. Okay, so that's why we got in. Now, as for our buys for the month, it's pretty straightforward. We didn't really buy a lot. Our positions are still relatively concentrated, so we've actually reduced our positions lately. So we're putting in less money into dividend paying stocks because we want to get our emergency fund back up to 12 months. We had some unexpected expenses come up that we had to pay for, so we're pulling back a little bit to accumulate some cash. It doesn't mean we're going to stop investing. We're not. We just want to get back up to that particular dollar amount. So pretty much what we bought was we bought Aptly, we bought a little bit of HRZN, we bought OARC and NVIDIA on this particular portfolio. And then we've also been buying LTCN and BCHG, but that doesn't count in terms of dividends. That's capital appreciation. That's something entirely different. And we also have bought some Clip this month. We've bought some Enfley this month. And I believe we bought some shares of Coney, GUI, and AMSI as well, maybe a little bit of FP2. One share of QQY and JEPI just to dip our toes in the water. And then we have also purchased some additional shares of Mara, I believe it was. I think we purchased either Mara or Riot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Mara that we bought. This is a Bitcoin miner play is what this is, Bitcoin miner stock. So we bought some Clip here, and we also bought some OARC and a little bit of ALT, very, very small amount to reduce our cost basis. So anyways, that sums up all of our moves for the month of September and our passive income. We made about $860. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all later. Peace.